Click, click, boom. What's going on, faithfuls? The Nothing But Niners crew is back, guys, and it is time. The week is here, man. We are ready. We're getting pumped. We got to start knowing our enemy right now. We're not going to bore you guys with the behind enemy line segments like we used to do and call people in here for the Vikings and have them telling us and talking our ear off. What we're going to do here is a 4 or 5 part series where we break down and compare the Minnesota Vikings to the San Francisco 49ers. Tonight's going to be a very general show about just some basic stats, and so I hope you guys like it. Lock in, prepare to listen. Short shows this week, guys. We're going to try to bring you guys at least one show a night. And again, they're going to be about 30 to 45 minutes in length, okay? So we have to go through some of the formalities with all that being said. First and foremost, if this is your first time here on the YouTube page, we'd like to thank you. Make sure you hit that like button. Give us some thumbs up so other people can find us, okay? And if you like it that much, you want to hit the subscribe button. So that way you have a log of every single 49ers video that we post. And then last but certainly not least, you want to make sure you turn on your notifications. That way you know when we're going live. This video in this group chat was up over an hour before we went live, so that way you guys know exactly when we're going live, okay? So make sure you do all that stuff there. Also, hit up our social media pages, guys. We have our Twitter and our Snapchat handles. Those are nothing but 9ERS. Again, that is nothing but the number 9ERS. That's Twitter and Snapchat. We have Facebook and Instagram as well. Make sure you guys give us follows over there. That is nothing but Niners. That is spelled all the way out. Again, that is nothing but Niners on Facebook as well as Instagram. By the way, the Facebook community over there, guys, over 15,000 strong. Don't be one of the last people to join that group. It is fire over there. I promise you guys. You can watch the videos right there too. Okay. So for those of you over there on Facebook and you're watching right now, we'd like to thank you. Also, guys, if you forget anything that I just told you, hit up the website. Okay. It is www.nothingbutniners.com. It's your one-stop shop for any and everything 49ers. Our podcast, our videos, our fan page dedicated to you guys is there. If you got pictures of stuff going on over there, you want to send us a picture. Did you win your fantasy league? You got a trophy to show off? Oh yeah. I got mine in the mail today. You guys send us the pictures, okay? Send them over there through email. That's nb9ers@nothingbutniners.com. We'll get them posted up over there, okay? All right, man. Let's start bringing in the fellas. My man Nick is in here. What's going on, baby? How you doing?
Bang, bang. Not a gang. What's going on, faithful?
Yeah, boy. Here to break this all down. He is 49ers Faithful 365. I'm 49ers Mike _NFL. And we got my man Breezy over here. Wayne, what's going on, big dog?
What's going on, Faithful, man? Haven't talked to y'all in a minute. What's good, baby? How y'all doing?
I'm good. I hope everybody else out there is good. Nick, how about you, man? You good?
I'm good, man. I'm ready to rock.
Yeah, man. And Tony had an important phone call. He stepped out, but NJ Niner fan 499 will be joining us as soon as he gets back over there. So we'll pop him in there as soon as he's done on that phone call. But guys, we got a lot of stuff to get into, man. We're gonna dig right into this, man. This week, like I said, we're gonna try to do short shows, one show a night at least, and we're just gonna do some compare and contrast between the Minnesota Vikings and the San Francisco 49ers, just to see how they compare. Okay. Now, tonight, we got some easy breakdowns over here. I don't know how you guys want to kick this off, how you guys want to start, but I mean, shit, I'm ready. I'm ready to talk about it. So is Tony ready over there? It looks like he's ready. There he is.
What's up? Sorry to take that call real quick.
No, it's all good, man. Stuff happens. We get it, man. It's all good. So we're going to break this all down here. I'm going to pull up the 49ers information. We'll pull up the Vikings information on the other side, and then we'll do a little compare and contrast, okay? Let me get the black background that looks better over there where Nick is. There we go. All right, so we're going to do some very, very simple comparisons really quick. Like, for example, points per game. The 49ers finished second in the NFL in points per game with 29.9 points a game. Too many twos and nines over there. 29.9 points a game. Almost 30, man. That's actually – it's pretty incredible. Those are really good numbers. And the Vikings finished not far behind them in eighth with 25.4. Now, this is going to be something that we're just going to like fire off a bunch of different numbers, but I want to get your guys' thoughts on some of these things that we're throwing out there. Did it feel like we were putting up 30 points a game to you guys?
Yeah, I'd say so. I would probably say around 28.
I don't think it did. I don't think it felt like we were putting up those points. I think we were I just thought the wins were the only things that was mattering. I know a couple of games we definitely did those points. A couple of games we scored way over that. We had a couple of 40-point games, high 30 games. Then we had a couple of no touchdown games. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it was a weird point differential. Like for me, like it was just more like, yo, they just gotta win. But I will tell you this: as the season progressed, the more comfortable I felt when they came out and the offense got the ball. I was like, oh, don't worry, we'll go down there and score. Like I haven't said that in years, so that was a good thing.
I agree, man. You know, that 50-point game that we had also. You said 40s and you said 30s and everything, but we had that 50-point game against Carolina as well. Tony, what about you, man? Did it feel like did it feel like the 49ers were putting up 30 points a game, man?
Well, I mean, we had what, 1, 2, 3 big scores. We had New Orleans, we had
Green Bay,
and who was the
Panthers.
other one? Panthers, yeah. So, I mean, that probably helped it, boosted up a little bit. But I mean, overall, they pretty much the offense has been good, man. They've been putting points up.
All right. We're going to keep this thing going here. I'm going to keep going with the compare and contrast thing here. The yards per game, very basic stuff that we're going to do here, guys. Face value stuff. 49ers finished 4th in the NFL with yards per game with 381.1. The Vikings finished 16th, 353.5. All right, I'm going to ask you guys a question. We're going to shoot from the hip here. Do you guys think the Niners finished with more rushing yards per game or more passing yards?
Total?
Yeah, average rushing yards per game or passing yards per game?
I would go with rushing.
I'm going with passing.
Yeah.
You too, Tony?
I would say the passing because I think the Vikings and some of the teams that we could potentially face have pretty solid run games. I think Jimmy's gonna let it rip.
Yeah, but I think he's asking you what wasn't the question overall. What did they finish in?
What did we finish with more of, rushing yards per game or passing?
Yeah, not what's coming up.
Rushing.
Okay. I can't believe it. All right. Well, the Niners finished with more passing yards per game, 237 a game. And
Bang!
And then rushing yards, we finished second in the league with 144.1 rushing yards a game. That's good for second. And it's weird. This is why I think it's weird. The Vikings weren't far behind. Now they finished 23rd with 220.2 passing yards a game, but rushing they were 6th with 133.3. The Vikings aren't far off from what the 49ers are looking at these numbers on face value. Yet when you hear the fans talk, when you hear people speak, they're expecting a blowout. I mean, I posted the numbers for Vegas in there. What are they? 6 point
7 points, right?
7-point favorites.
What are we missing here? What dots aren't we connecting?
You said that the fans are expecting a blowout. I'm
Have you
trying
seen
to
the way people are talking?
I know, man. I had to put out a tweet. Like, look, I'm extra confident about this game. That doesn't mean that we're gonna go out there and win by 30, but that doesn't mean we're not gonna go out there and win by 30. So I could get where fans are coming from. It's like you got to understand that the 49ers have been playing a certain style of football all season. You've seen game plan wise where they could go out and throw up 50. You've seen game plan wise where they could win a shootout. You've seen game plan wise they could win just kicking field goals. You can see I don't know if this game in particular will be a blowout because it's definitely going to be like if we didn't play chess all season, we're definitely playing a chess game right now. And it's definitely going to be counter this, counter that. All I'm asking for is Kyle Shanahan to just there's no room for conservative football in the playoffs. There's just no room for it. And if he comes out there with his game plan and just plays football, yes, this team can win by 30 points. Yes, they can. They absolutely can. But it all depends on how Kyle is going to coach the offense. It all depends on how well the defense is playing. If the defense is playing lights out, getting the ball back, I would see Kyle do what he do. If not, you're going to see the conservative Kyle. And that, I had this argument with my boys from my starting five group, not an argument, but just a discussion. And they were just talking about I think it was, he was a Saints fan. And he was like, yo, I said, yo, Drew Brees was ASS. He was ass. And he was like, yeah, I don't know why I spelled it out and said it. I don't know what's wrong with me. But anyway, and he was like, but all year, that's not his game plan. And I'm like, you know what, bro? You're right. He's not a conservative style quarterback. He needs to run the ball. Run the offense, throw that ball, sling it down the field, hit his open receivers, get everybody involved. And then in this game, they didn't play like that. And I'm not saying that's why they lost, but Drew Brees was butt. And with that being said, I just saw conservative style coaching coming from Sean Payton. And I think there's only two coaches in the NFL that don't play conservative, Sean Payton and Bill Belichick. And what did they do this past weekend? So Kyle is a conservative guy. We watched it. We watched him throw up 28 to nothing in the Super Bowl. And then we watched it. And so, yes, this team can throw points out. Yes, this team can score points against great defenses, against good defenses. They can. Kyle's that much of a magician. I just don't think that we should expect a blowout. I just think we should expect a victory. I think that's what we need to sum ourselves up to. Call me crazy, but.
All right, fellas. Tony, Nick, your thoughts on all that?
I don't know if he really went conservative because, they used Taysom Hill a lot. They used Taysom Hill. They tried to do a fake punt.
Yeah, those are trick plays. But, yeah, I get what you're saying.
But it's not – trick plays isn't being conservative. It's trying to throw off and open up your playbook a little bit. But I do agree with you that Drew Brees obviously didn't have a really good game, which is a benefit of why they couldn't put up points as well. But you got to also not take away from Minnesota's front. Because Minnesota's front was balling that day, and New Orleans' offensive line, we saw it. There was times we couldn't get to Drew Brees playing the Saints. They were just throwing the ball all over the place on us. So I don't want to say too much being conservative, but I don't also want to take away from. I do think that Sean Payton tried to do some things, but then again, the defensive front of Minnesota was just overwhelming on New Orleans when it needed to be at most. Yeah, I hear feedback on somebody's end, so
yeah, I don't have anything planned.
No, it's your mic, Wayne. It's your mic picking up the words when we're talking. It's all good. Tony, man, your thoughts on that, man?
If we're discussing about that game, Minnesota versus the Saints, I in my opinion, I blame that loss on Sean Payton. He abandoned the run game. He tried to get cute and make Drew Brees throw the ball over the field. And you can't. I understand the Vikings have an excellent front, and there's no doubt about it. I'm not questioning it. They are talented. They do have a talented front four and front seven, but if you compared our offensive system compared to what's his name runs, Peyton, they're two different types of system. Peyton is more of a longer developmental route and route running and passing concepts than Kyle's. So with that being said, I think the Niners offense could break down and really attack that Vikings defense a lot better the way the Saints could, because the Saints were imbalanced. The 49ers are balanced. So that's just what I think. Yeah, is there feedback on my mic?
No, you're good.
Oh, okay.
No, you're good. All right, I think we're good now. I don't hear any more feedback. Everybody's not on mute, so we're good to go. All right. All right, there's some more basic numbers that we're going to compare here. I don't want to move on. I don't want to skip anybody and any thoughts that you guys have. So if there's anything else that you guys want to touch on before we keep it moving, please let me know.
No, I think you guys are right about that. All I'm saying is in this particular game, it's weird how we couldn't consistently keep score 34, 30 plus points a game, all season. Even though we averaged 29, it's just weird. Some games we just couldn't put up those points. And I'm just hoping that I blame a lot of that to not being able to consistently run the ball at first. There were games where we just had to throw. That's why I picked passing, because there were some games we actually didn't even run. It was like the run got abandoned after the first quarter, and then it was just all Jimmy G. And so I don't know. I honestly don't know what to expect in this outcome of the game because we haven't been here before. So I think we're all going to be in lieu of what fireworks Kyle Shanahan's going to bring.
Yeah, I chose rushing because of the fact that there were games we didn't pass for like the first 6 weeks of the season. We were running the ball. We were averaging 250 yards on, rush the game. So that's the reason I chose rushing because I'm like, that kind of adds up. But then we did have a spurt where we couldn't run the football. We were getting 60 yards, 80 yards, so it makes sense.
Yeah, down the stretch when teams start taking away the run game, that's when Jimmy really stepped up, probably around the time we started losing.
Right.
That's when it all kind of changed. You saw the tone shift, and a lot of people were like, "Oh, Jimmy can't do it. Jimmy can't do it." He said, "Hold my beer. I got this. Watch this."
I got a question for you guys. Since we're talking about points per game, we talked about average of points, right? Is anybody else concerned about this red zone still?
Did we talk? We didn't bring in the red zone stats yet, so
not yet. I haven't, but we can. I'm not. Personally, I'm not concerned with it. After what I saw watching the game the other night, watching the games this weekend, like I thought the Niners were like, all right, we're still kind of in that area, but I walked away with a good appreciation of what we do in the red zone now. So I'm not worried about it anymore.
I still think we struggle in the red zone though. Like I still feel that's still that's like our Achilles, yo. It's like we get down there, and then there's a hold, and then we trying to come back, through the depth of field. We're trying to get those yards back, and then we have to settle for 3 points. I think that's our issue. I don't think we struggle in the red zone. If we have a clear, mistake free in the red zone, we've watched Kyle get creative. We've watched Jimmy throw darts. That's when Kendrick Bourne lights up. That's when, we could bring Jeff Wilson in the game. There's so many things we could do in the red zone if we get down there. But I think once we get to the red zone, I think we got to capitalize on that first play. You know what I mean? If not, that's when we set up plays for penalties to happen. Instead of it being 1st and 3, it's like 1st and 13, and then something else usually happens. We get a loss of yards, and then incomplete pass, and now we kicking field goals. So we gotta tighten that up. But I don't know what the stats say. The stats could say that we are excellent in the red zone.
The Niners are 21st in the league in red zone efficiency,
which means we suck. Thank you. There we go.
That's horrible. We're not even in the top 15.
There you go, Luke.
We're 21st. In 2019 total, we were 53%, which is above 50%. The last 3, it's been 63.64%. The last one, we were 66.67%. We are 60% at home, 44% away. Compared to last year, it's a big jump because we were 41.18% last year. So in 2018, we were 41.18, and 2019, we're 53.23.
Yeah, but check this out. We have been looking for, other than the rest, why is playing at home such a big deal? Why is playing at home such a big deal? And you just say that we're 60% at home and 40% on the road in the red zone?
Let me go back. I just clicked on the name. So
I swear that's
you just said that.
We're 44.83% away and 60.61% at home.
So that's a huge difference, Joe. Home field advantage means a hell of a lot. And that makes sense, right? Crowd noise, the fields, take those things into consideration when you're on the road. It's good at home.
Here's an interesting fact. Minnesota is 57.69% at home and 64.71% on away.
Wait, hold up. Is that for the season, or is that including proceed? Like what?
That's just the regular season.
What was Minnesota's
Their last 3, all right, so 2019, they were 61.67%. They were ranked 10th in the league. And this is only by, obviously, touchdown. This isn't with field goals. Last 3, they were at 40%. Last 1, they were at 75%. Home was 57.69. Away was 64.71, and in 2018 they were 54%.
Damn.
So Kirk Cousins plays better away. The less pressure on him, the better he is.
Well, let's factor in some things when we say that. Like, how many of those away games are, and not in the dome and all that good stuff? Because I know he struggles on grass. He damn sure struggled as a Redskin. So I know he struggles on grass opposed to playing in the dome.
I'm going just based off of what that said for last year. Now, I don't know who they played on the road and all that stuff. That I don't know, but it's very interesting to me though, man. You know what I'm saying? Like that's
I think what makes me so concerned about red zone, and this is probably why, because when we're playing big teams in big games, it seems like we get the opportunity to score first, and we start with a field goal, and then our next drive will start with a field goal, and then our third or fourth drive we'll get a touchdown, and it just seems like to me that's the way that it is when we play against big teams. We've struggled getting in the end zone when we have the opportunity first.
No, we got our first possession against the Saints. We got in the end zone.
No, we didn't.
No, we didn't.
Yeah. Okay.
We were down 13-0.
No, we weren't against the Saints.
Yes, we were.
No, I thought they drove down the field and we answered.
No, after the second time they answered.
No.
We had the ball first, I thought.
They went for 2 points on the second touchdown. I'm gonna look it up right now. I'll tell you.
I'm telling you, it was 7-7. Like they scored and we scored, or the other way around. Now they got away from us after that, and then we marched them down before halftime. But our opening drive, we scored. And
they scored first, and then we came back and answered, and then we went 3 and out on our next possession, and they scored.
If I'm not mistaken, against the Ravens, we scored on the first drive also, because I was like, "Oh, the Niners came to play today."
The Ravens, we scored on the first drive. We took the ball first, and Jimmy threw that bomb, and Debo made a hell of a catch. We went up 7-0. Yes, correct.
Right. And what other big game was there? The Seahawks game. Did we get in the end zone in that opening drive this last game in their house? I remember getting hyped like we're here. Like I don't know, man. I feel like the bigger the game, the better these guys do.
I agree. I think the bigger the game, the better they do. And under the lights, they play damn well, yo. I'm not telling nobody not to worry. I can't make people feel that way. You know what I'm saying? I know how I feel. So all I'll do is I'm going to give off my energy all the time. If y'all want to vibe with me, you vibe with me. If you want to do your rituals, you do your rituals. But I think that this game is what Jimmy G is ready to feast on. I think these are the type of games that he was built for.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Jimmy is getting better as the season goes on, man.
Oh, there's no doubt that Jimmy's getting better. No doubt. I'm just trying to find if
that's what I'm looking it up too.
I've been feeling like I could be way off, but I feel like we've been coming out on fire and then we just kind of go to sleep, and then it's like right before halftime is when Kyle makes a move because he likes getting the ball back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what happened. They scored first. They went.
Who scored first?
Yeah, and then Kendrick Bourne scored a touchdown.
Right.
The
so that
Saints
made
scored and we answered.
Yep. That was an answer game for a minute, and then they did go up because I remember not being home watching that joint. I'm like, and then all I kept getting was y'all chats, and I'm like, what is going on? And I couldn't check my phone. But yeah, I remember that. I'm telling you guys,
it was a lot of fun though.
That game, yo, I'm at a show and I'm trying to sing and play. I'm messing up notes because I'm looking at y'all WhatsApp chats.
The Seattle game, we didn't score. We got a field goal.
The second time.
No, the second game.
Yeah.
Which
is I was like, but didn't they get the ball first and we stopped them and then we got okay.
I think we forced either 3 or 4 straight 3 and outs for Seattle or something like that. Like, or they had 1 first down in their first 5 drives, something crazy like that.
Yeah, well, I mean, it was their first scoreless first half.
Yes.
Yeah.
They had like just a handful of first downs the entire first half. I remember that.
Oh,
yeah.
So we broke another trend.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Oh, we down. I know the score didn't look like it. I know the game almost came down to the wire, and I don't know what changed. You can call it second half adjustments or whatever. But we went in there. We were working Seahawks. Bro. They had no answer to anything we were doing.
I feel like the defense let off the gas in those games against Seattle, which you can't do in the playoffs. Like, we cannot do that.
I'm telling you, man, they were playing. It was weird, man. It was weird. Fatigueness, trying to save players. I don't know. It's gonna be all gas, no brakes in these playoffs, man.
It better be.
I like this Vikings defensive line is pretty nasty, man.
The defensive line is nasty. Let's talk about defensive lines. Let's do that.
So I have the defensive rankings here, and I'll tell you what. We'll focus on sacks right now and quarterback hits. All right. I have those. I had those numbers. Hold on, let me find them. All right, here we go. So the Vikings, 101 quarterback hits, 87 tackles for loss, 48 sacks. I'm going to stop there. And how that compares to us. The 49ers only had 93 quarterback hits. We also had 87 tackles for loss, and we also had 48 sacks. So what does that tell you guys?
Very similar.
101 quarterback hits in 16 games.
They get to the quarterback. That's what that tells you. That's what that tells you.
They get busy, bro. They get busy, and
most of their pressure comes from up the middle, though.
Is Griffin on the middle or outside?
They move him all over the place.
This is one of those games.
I saw him playing outside and inside in that game.
Yeah, no, they moved him around a while. So I like Griffin. I don't know if y'all remember. He was one of the guys that I was hoping that we would try to go and get.
Then he went cuckoo. He went to a psych ward or something like that.
Yeah.
I think our numbers would have been higher than that, though, if we had a Dee Ford and a Tart on the field.
Okay.
Those rotations were definitely for 3 weeks we didn't really rotate. Like, our guys were burnt. And then we started doing the rotation, and you see that we're starting to get more pressure as quarterback hits at the end of the season once we stopped that. But also, like I said, with Dee Ford not out there, people want to act like Dee Ford didn't do shit in this defense, man. But
he's a game changer.
He's a game changer.
We talked about this before on one of the shows, man. I really think him coming back is going to help the secondary most of all, and it's going to help the rotation on the front line. Because I'm still not sold that Akello's as good as he was playing, because we had a really dominant pass rush when he looked really good and was playing against some iffy quarterbacks. So I'm still not sold on Akello being that lockdown corner that we all think he is. But I think Dee Ford, man, people were talking about in our chat before, like, oh, we can just get rid of Dee Ford. No, we can't. No, we can't.
I think
we can get rid of him right now.
I think the issue with Dee Ford is that he's not on the field, and that people feel like, oh, we're paying him mad money to not play football. I mean, dude is hurt, and then when he's not hurt, he's playing limited snaps. Yet he's a specialist. You typically play. That's like saying, hey, I'm gonna pay Nick to go and put out a hit on somebody. I mean, I could do it. I could get my guys to do it, but I want to pay the professional to do it. The professional's going to charge more money. They're specialists. They got ways and how to do it nice and silent and clean and not being seen. That's the Dee Ford type character, yo. That's what he brings. Plus, he plays the piano. He's a beast.
Yeah, but it's funny though, because in those limited snaps, he's probably still.
He had 8 sacks.
If he continued to play in those limited snaps, I still think he would be just below, maybe even tied with Eric Armstead for sacks.
Then how many sacks did he have? 8?
He had 6.5, I think.
You know what's weird about this whole thing? Everyone keeps saying, oh, he's injured, he's in limited snaps, and da-da-da-da. If you go back and you listen to the presser when they first brought him here, and John Lynch talking about him on the radio and how excited he was when he got him, he said, we brought him in for one reason and for one reason only.
To get to the quarterback.
Yeah, maybe he's not here to be a 50, 60 down, 50 snap player a game. We're looking at the 24 to 30 snaps, and we're like, oh, man, he's got to get healthy. We got to see him out there more. We got to see him out there. Now, I know that obviously he is limited. You know what I'm saying? When the guy comes out there, he's only playing 12 snaps in the game. Obviously, that's limited. But what if they only intend for him to play 20 to 30 snaps a game anyway?
Can I ask a quick question before you answer, yo? Why do we freaking care? If he's productive, what the bleep is the problem? I'm trying to understand us. We're not making any sense. What's the problem? If he's productive and if he's doing his job when he's out there, why do we care if he plays 1 snap, 2 snap, 3 snap, 4? Like, it shouldn't matter. We're not paying him.
Step. Give me some more.
Hey, 1 gun, 2 gun, 3. I'll be on my Onyx when I'm
Onyx, man, that's my group right there. Come on, man. Don't do that. Don't do that. You're gonna have me shutting stuff down.
I'm a B-boy standing in my B-boy stand. No, so let me stop.
Keep it back and forth before I busting my pants up my bad. All right, here we go.
But Mike, me and you had this talk, and just to bring up what you were just talking about, they asked him, he's like, well, I don't think I'm going to be in coverage at all this year. He's like, my job is pin my ears back and get after the quarterback. And when you're in those passing, look, you could bring him in on 3rd down, but if you're in run down set, he may not be on the field. So that could be a limited snap because he's not going after, you know what I mean? So I don't know, man. I just think Dee Ford is too. We've seen it, and I'll argue until I'm blue in the face that we've seen the difference without Dee Ford on the field in this defense.
Yeah, he's very valuable.
The difference.
He's extremely valuable, and I think that people saying, "Oh, we have depth, we can trade him," weren't thinking long ball. That contract tells me long ball. It tells me also they can probably move some money around and renegotiate and stuff like that. And
exactly,
we'll see how it plays out. But I think he's here for at least 2 more seasons.
The other thing with that is he's going to have off-season surgery for that tendonitis.
Okay.
How's he going to come back? He's going to come back probably better, right? Because he's been continually pushing it off. He said himself that this offseason he's going to have the surgery to repair it so that he's 100%. And you know, in the last 2 years, not at 100%.
And you know why he's going to have that surgery, Nick? Because he's a 49er, yo, and he sees there's a legacy. When he walked in that building, he felt that legacy. He wants to be a part of that legacy, and there's something brewing. The dynasty is being reborn, guys. I keep telling y'all, man, the dynasty is being reborn, yo. We going back to the 90s right now. It's being reborn. It's an R. Kelly album. My bad.
Oh, don't do that.
I didn't. My fault.
Tony, you're silent over there, bro. You're killing me.
I'm just listening.
Is it all rigged? Does it all make sense? Is everything rigged?
Yeah.
Does it all make sense?
I mean, listen, everyone's complaining about what they paid Dee Ford, and no one has said one thing, how the 49ers paid $37.85 million to Jimmy Garoppolo to sit on the bench last year because he tore his ACL and learned this offense. That was okay. Listen, injuries happen. It is what it is. Even if Dee Ford was 100% healthy, he would not be on the field every play because he sucks for us to run. So what is the difference? I would love to see him on the field in 3rd down situations to help us with the pass rush, but the injuries kept him off the field. But guess what? He's healthy. He's going to play this week. He's going to play next week, God willing. The only thing that concerns me is this weather. If it rains, I understand this is a big game for us, but hamstrings and slick surfaces don't work good. But listen, let's hope it holds up. The field's in good. The track is in good condition, and he does what he needs to do. He's a 3rd down pass rush. That's all he does.
I truly think Dee Ford has been good for at least 3 weeks, 2.5 weeks.
Oh yeah,
and just has not practiced.
I agree, and I think what they show us on camera is just to get our whistles wet. I think they messing with they playing with our emotions right now.
No, I don't. Not 2.5 weeks.
I'm telling you, bro.
That's right, bro. He played 4 snaps in the biggest game of the year against the Saints.
I'm telling you, bro. That dude.
That was 3 weeks ago, right?
4 weeks ago. It was a month ago.
It was 4. Oh, it was 4. Oh, okay.
He was out quick versus the Saints. If he played like 6 plays, that was a lot.
It was 4. It was only 4.
Right.
But I see what you're saying. 2.5 weeks. Okay. I'm with you. Okay. I was for whatever.
We played the Saints, the Falcons, the Rams, the Seahawks.
And the Seahawks.
Yeah, that's 3 weeks right there. I think he was good to go against the Seahawks game, but they kept him out and then get the additional week because of the bye, and then is coming back to practice.
Facts, yo.
That gives him 3 weeks of being healed. So
and remember,
I heard this. Well, you just put up there.
And remember, he's only playing limited snaps too, and that's a plus for him. That's a plus for him coming off this injury. So I'm telling you, man, if Dee Ford is on that field, it's pin your ear back football, and Bosa gonna feast.
Yeah.
One of them cats gonna feast on the
I
end.
agree. You can't double everybody.
It's not only like I showed Mike a picture. I was watching the game when he was playing versus when he wasn't playing. And when he was on the field, being that he does line up so wide, it causes the tackle to widen his stance. So now there's no help about 90% of the time on the inside for the guard. So now that makes Buckner, Armstead, DJ Jones, Sheldon Day, whoever was lining up inside's job 10 times easier because he's not getting hit from one side. He's not going to get hit from the other side. So it's a one-on-one situation. When you don't have a threat of a speed guy like that, it's very hard for the interior guys to get that one-on-one because the tackle's always going to punch in to help him. So now with the speed, it causes him to widen his stance, kick slide out to set up his pass pro to meet him on that angle to the quarterback when he runs his arc. So even if he doesn't get a sack, you line him up on that field, you have to respect him. And just by that, by him standing there in his red jersey, 55, gold helmet, it frees up that whole defensive line. And you're going to see it. If he's 100% healthy and he's ready to play this week, when you see him on the field, you watch that offensive line, how it automatically shifts. And there's no inside help from that tackle.
So they shift to the speed side and not the power side?
When I say shift, okay, let's say you have a tackle and a left tackle, right? So, I mean, you saw Staley do it a couple times in that game versus Clowney, where he widened his inside leg from the guard's outside leg. So the left guard, and he's the left tackle. So the space, and normally they're like this. He might go out a little bit like this. Mm-hmm. So now it widens. It gives him more room to work with. So at the snap, as usual, Dee Ford will attack the left tackle's outside shoulder, which is his left shoulder. Mm-hmm. So he's got a kick slide because of the angle that he's coming on. He's got a kick slide to get to that point to get his hands on him. Because if not, it's going to be him chasing him around to the quarterback. So now by doing that, just the threat of Dee Ford being on the field, that frees up Buckner and the interior guys because now there's no help. It's one-on-one. It's either the center guard. The center's going to go with the left guard and help him or go with the right guard to help him. And that's where you saw this defensive line really take over and control games when Dee Ford was on one side, Bosa was on the other. I even seen times where Dee Ford was on the guard and Bosa was the outside end, and they just did a stunt. And that threat of the speed, and if you take this back to the offseason, when we talked about once they announced the free agent class, once they figured out who was franchise tag and who's not, and I said clearly, if you want the best speed rusher, you go get Dee Ford. Mm-hmm. But he's probably going to be franchise tag, and it's going to cost us a first, so I don't think we're going to do it. Now, we got the best speed rusher. Granted, he's been banged up a little bit, but if he can get healthy, if he's good for this game, there's going to be problems. And it's not him causing the problems, but it's him being on the field that's going to make it easy for the other four rushers.
Mm-hmm. It's the game. It's the chess game.
Exactly. And God forbid if Salah sends a fifth guy, then you're going to see guys, if they decide either Warner or Greenlaw on a stunt, forget it. They're going to go untouched. And we all know if you take Cook out of this equation, I mean, listen, I'll go into this game if you want. I know you guys wanted to try to keep it controlled. But if you eliminate this run game from Minnesota, that ain't Russell Wilson back there. And it's no knock against Cousins. He's not going to run around and sneak and dodge and try to slip through cracks. He's not going to do it. If you force him to be a passer with no run threat and those guys can pin their ears back, I'm sorry, man.
Well, that's the good thing about this Ford injury, right? Well, I know that sounds weird, but if by chance Ford tweaks something or he's unable to go, this is the least mobile quarterback we have played
all season. Yeah, since the dude from the Steelers, he's probably more mobile.
Like this is like as stationary as they get. And before that, I would have said Jared Goff, but they made it a point to move his ass around.
Before that,
do that with Kirk Cousins.
They even moved Matt Ryan ass around. Like he took off for a couple of runs.
That's what I'm saying. And so that's not happening in this game. And I want to get this message off of here from George Padilla. He says 95-7 in the game today said that when Ford and Bosa are on the field together, the defense averaged a sack every 7 snaps. When they were on the field together, that dropped to about every 30-plus snaps. And he's right. It says Niners had 24 sacks and 164 snaps with Bosa and Ford on the field together. They had 24 sacks on 801 plays when they're not on the field together. Look at the difference. 24 sacks with them on the field together and 164 snaps. When they're not on the field together, 801 snaps for the same 24 snaps.
And this is like what Wayne said. It's a chess match, okay? Nice. If you don't have Ford on the field, what do the teams do? They're sliding the protection of Bosa. They're chipping him every play. Mm-hmm. Now you put Ford, they can't slide this protection no more. Mm-hmm. They can't just chip Bosa. It's pick or choose your poison now. And so now it really frees that defensive lineup to really go out there and play with that full aggression. And that, especially in passing situations.
And I was going to say that allows your secondary to cover. That allows it just allows everybody to be a little bit better. And the reason why they can't do that, Tony, like you said, is because what Mike said, Kirk Cousins isn't mobile. So you go ahead and let the speed guy come around. If you go ahead and let him be free if you want to. Good golly, oh Molly, you go ahead and let him.
Listen, I'm not discrediting Kirk Cousins. I think Kirk Cousins had the game of his life last week. I think their offensive line between Bradbury and Pat Eflin, two high picks. One was a first rounder, one was a second rounder from last year. Two great interior linemen. I mean, they played their butts off. They're physical guys. They're not big, but they will fight you to the whistle. But I'm just telling you now, this team can't come out overconfident versus this Viking team. They have to come out as its business. And you're gonna see a difference with Kyle and Saleh, because now you don't win this game, there's no saying, all right, well, we got to win next week. You're going home. And that's it. And this team worked too hard to get to this point. And I honestly think you're going to see Kyle with the mentality that they played the Saints with. He's going to be aggressive when he needs to be. He's not going to come out flying, but if he feels, okay, well, they're answering back fast, we need to go. We need to do something. You do the fullback option, whatever the hell he does. And the thing is, I don't want to go too far into this, but you got to remember something. Gary Kubiak is on that staff. Gary Kubiak worked under Mike Shanahan. So they know all this. They know this system. They're two similar systems, two exact systems, to be honest with you, because you saw flashes of it with Minnesota playing the Saints, how they run the outside zone with a motion away from the play. All right. So with that being said, do not think Gary Kubiak is not going to be working with Mike Zimmer on a way to stop this, because it's the same offense. So now if you flip the script, don't think Kyle is going to come up with something that they don't know. So this game, in my opinion, I think the 49ers will win. I think the crowd will help them on third downs. I think that stadium will be loud. I'm not going to give predictions, but a score prediction, but I think the 49ers win. But I'm telling you guys now, and I'm telling all the faithful in this chat and everyone who's watching this game is not going to be a blowout. It's going to be a lot closer than what you're thinking. I do think it could be possibly by a touchdown, but I'm telling you, they got to be on their P's and Q's, because Kubiak's there, Kyle's there. They know. It's two similar systems, and just keep that in your head. And we're going to go into it more when we get down, closer to the game.
Yeah. So like I said, guys, we have a lot of shows coming for you guys this week, and this one is a specific show. We're not going to talk scheme and how we're going to use players. And I see the question here, another one from George, how to use Dalvin Cook against this. We're gonna bring all that into play, guys. I promise you guys. But this is a long thing, guys. We want to try to bring you guys a show every single night this week if possible. So you guys got to be patient. Make sure you're tuned in and locked in with us, okay? Let me see what this one is over here. Oh, okay, you're good. No, you're good. All right, guys. We talked about the defensive numbers, right? As far as how the defensive lines gets after it. Tomorrow, what we can do is we're going to continue talking about the defense, talk about the secondary, turnovers, forced fumbles, interceptions, things like that. We're going to take it another step, and we're going to continue to gradually break this thing down so that we all have a really good understanding of how these teams match up. But again, I just want to put these numbers back out here again really quick. I'm not even going to tell you the full numbers, but points per game, 49ers were second in the league. Okay, points per game, the Vikings were eighth. All right, yards per game, 49ers were
eighth.
The Vikings were eighth in points per game. All right. In yards per game, the 49ers are 4th. Yards per game, the Vikings are 16th. And rushing yards per game, this is an important one here. The Vikings were 6th. The 49ers were 2nd. These guys, that's going to be key to this game right here. And so this is going to be a long, hard-fought game. I can't wait to continue to break this stuff down with everybody. I'm trying to think, is there anything else as far as the defensive statistics that I wanted to share or just to remind you guys of before we get out of here? And guys, go ahead. You guys can give your final thoughts and all that stuff too. I don't want to cut anybody off or cut anybody short.
Final thoughts on the rushing yards per game?
Yeah, just the stuff that we were discussing tonight here.
I saw a stat earlier, and I don't remember exactly what it was, but with us running to the right and what Minnesota allows to the right, Minnesota allows to the left on the outside zone, that's the way you beat them. And we have the backs that run that outside zone really well. And I think to look for, and we'll get into all this talk, but I think Breida and Mostert are going to be utilized a lot in this playoff game compared to Coleman. I would think because of the outside zone. Niners, you got to think about this too, is their rushing, Minnesota's rushing is a little bit lower. But you also got to think, I mean, they didn't have Dalvin Cook for 2 or 3 games. That's a big hurt for them. Obviously, what's his name? Matheson? Is it Matheson or Madison?
Madison.
Madison.
Yeah, I don't know if there's an 8 Matheson or Madison, but that boy's not a joke either. I mean, he can run the football too. But obviously, when you have Dalvin Cook out there, Dalvin Cook's more of a harder back to take down. He gets more yards after contact, things like that. So, so it's just Madison, symmetry says. But this is going to be, like you said, Mike, this is going to be – I don't think this is going to be a blowout by any means. I think our energy level is going to be really high, and I'm a little worried about that. And I'll talk about that more once we get into that show. But
all right, Wayne, your thoughts, bro?
Respect to their running game. Dalvin Cook's an excellent running back. Is he someone we have to prepare for? Absolutely. Is he someone I think that the 49ers can contain? Absolutely. I watched the Saints contain him. So why can't we? But he can break big runs. And then they do have a good guy coming in there that can break big runs and spell them. You see Madison. Is Madison the guy that replaced Cook when Cook got injured? Because I know they had another running back too. He sucked that game. I'm just gonna keep it a buck. And you know how I know he sucked? Because he lost me my motherfucking fantasy football championship because he couldn't get 1 yard on the ground. He's better when Cook is playing because he's fresh and he's coming in there. So he's I don't know who to compare him to, but he's definitely a guy that can give you the Vikings that 1-2 punch. If Dalvin Cook's not hitting it on the ground, they bring him in there, change the pace back, runs physical, but he's quicker, a little bit quicker getting to the hole. Yeah, we do have to prepare for the run game. But we'll break that down later, man. I do want to respect their run game. That is something that I definitely have respected all season. And like Tony said, they got a good interior line. And it's something that we have to prepare for. So can't wait to break that stuff down with you guys and Faithful.
Is that Garrett Bradbury in there?
Yes. No, it's the dude that got drafted.
It is Garrett, right, Tony? 2 years ago, right? Not this past draft.
Bradbury got drafted last year out of Fresno, and the guy was it Fresno? I forgot where we got drafted from, but it was Bradbury this year and Pat Eflin from Ohio State last year.
Yeah, Eflin the year before. Yeah, Bradbury. I actually like Bradbury.
Yeah, I thought we were going to take him in the draft. I thought we were going to get another O-line, and then I think we went second round. We went somebody else. Because I think he went first round, though.
Bradbury went to the first round.
Yeah, but it was late. It was like in the 20s or something.
Yeah. I think they actually traded up for him.
Got you.
You know what I'm surprised about with all this, fellas? Not a single one of you guys mentioned last year's game. And last
year.
When CJ Beathard played or Nick Mullins played?
He played. That was the first team of the season.
the first game is week 1, Jimmy Garoppolo.
Oh,
It didn't go well. So I'm saying that to say that there's a lot more stuff coming, guys. We're going to talk about all of this stuff. I promise you guys we're going to break it down. We're going to compare those teams versus these teams and how different they are and things like that. And, it's a small sample size because Jimmy only played, 2 2.5 games last year. So we'll break all that stuff down, but we're going to get to all that stuff. I promise you guys. This is going to be a lot.
Week 1 last week to Jimmy now is totally different, though.
Week 1 Jimmy this year is totally different now. So
That's what I'm saying.
it's going to be hard.
Different.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun to just go ahead and break all this stuff down and talk about the growth of these teams because both sides of the ball on both of these teams have improved.
been improved. Well,
both sides.
Have they though? I mean, I know we didn't break down the secondary, but I feel like who has the liability in the secondary more? Do you feel like it's us with Akilo, or do you feel like it's them with Rhodes?
We also got to talk about their injuries too. All that's going to come down. I promise.
But those aren't injuries. Rhodes is playing, so like we've seen him decline, like how Tom Brady declined. Like they just was here, and then now they like low. So
teasers, bro, teasers. You got to leave them wanting more.
Okay, that's what I'm just saying. I'm asking them. I'm not asking y'all. I'm asking them. Like it's
dangle the carrot.
Dangle the pot.
There it is.
The pot.
I'm gonna eat.
All right, guys.
Finish my drink.
Yeah. I am super excited, man. And let me tell you guys, I promise you guys, it's really hard to just stop the show. It really is. But we want to make sure we bring you guys content. We don't want to get repetitive and redundant, day after day. We're excited. We haven't played football in a week, and we have the best team in the league. At least that's how we all feel anyway. And we want to talk about it. So I promise you guys to be back soon. Make sure you guys are locked in. Make sure you guys are tuned in, okay? I can't say this is going to be the final show or whatever, but I'm talking about these shows in particular, the comparison shows. We're going to do one every night. If there's other shows, you guys are lucky. It's a bonus. So make sure you guys are locked in. I'm not going to go through all the different formalities again, but make sure you check out the website. It is www.nothingbutniners.com. That is your one place to be. Fellas, let's wrap it up, man. Prepare for glory.
Anticipate pain.
But always remain faithful.
We out of here.
Peace.